Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Well, welcome everyone. I am Katie Patrick, joined today by David Fiorazzo.
Hi everybody. What's on your mug?
Oh, this old thing? This is just our brand new educated mug.
Yes,
I'm just sipping the goodness. I'm getting educated just by drinking from
Katie,
it. And hey,
where can people get something like this?
You can get your very own educated mug by visiting stayeducated.org. Click on the little link in there and then order away. And cheers to you for doing so.
Or FreedomProject.com, but either one,
store.
stayeducated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either way, you will be hydrated. Now, before we do get started with our actual stories for today, I also want to show some love to our sponsor for today's episode, Switch to America. We're into the holiday season here. We have Thanksgiving, and then now Christmas is coming up. It's important to support small businesses right here in the USA, and we can all do that by visiting our friends at switchtoamerica.com.
That's right. It's almost December, so Merry Christmas. Visit switchtoamerica.com right now to see all the alternatives to the everyday items you use that are made right here in the USA. Again, switchtoamerica.com. If you love this country, please support American companies. Katie?
Cheers. All right. An Oregon high school is playing dumb. What? I don't know what happened. After an English teacher made a list of words that describe white boys, which of course, in that list, it includes the word predators. David, is that you, a predator, over there?
Well, I have something about that here, and I have some other descriptors that, for example, school shooter, not intelligent, privileged, racist, dumb, and as Katie said, predator. What do these words all have in common? This is not a joke. These words were all listed as adjectives used to describe white students in a freshman English class at Scappoose. I'm Italian. I want to put a Scappoose. No, I think it's Scappoose High School in Oregon. Some would say Oregon, but it's Oregon. And these words were all used to describe people like, I don't know, you and me.
Well, I was on the other list, on the white girls list.
Oh, okay. So that was just
I was on the white girls list. You're on the white boys list. Yeah, so this is, it was in, I guess, Ms. Autumn Gonzalez's classroom, right? And about 25 students just kind of walked in and saw this list, and they were like, what's happening? And it could be, okay, of course, they're playing dumb about this because they don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so basically, I think that the principal or whatever said they had it was no less than 25 emails and or messages left about the situation, which is when the students had walked in and saw this whole list and being like, what's happening? And so, of course, then...
What are some of the words on there?
Yeah, the principal was like, okay, what's going on? So then he went and talked to Ms. Gonzalez about this, and it took 3 days, several emails, and requests for students to be transferred out of her class and demands for her resignation before they were like, hey, the superintendent had to send out a letter being like, hey, okay, so here's what happened. And they went through the whole litany of, it was just an activity in the class. They were talking about a play. I think were they talking about 12 Angry Men, I do believe. And, so this is there's nothing happening here. Nothing to see here.
Move along.
People.
Yeah. One thing I do disagree with, though, on her white girls list, I don't think you guys are bad drivers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also am not blonde, or I do not drive a white Jeep Wrangler.
No.
I love Starbucks, but really I love just coffee and local coffee shops.
And is it
I'm
white?
not intelligent according to them. I apparently think I'm unique, I'm skinny or perfect, and I'm stuck up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, let's talk about boys, because there have been not all kinds of school shootings. It says white boys, school shooter. There have been others who have used guns in violent situations. How about no respect, racist, privileged, dumb? Chain necklace, what does that have to do with anything, right? Gym rats, predators, No filter on those white boys.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on there. I do like privilege being misspelled in an English class. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Ms. Gonzalez, this could have been, like you argue, a school exercise, like for an English class, a class exercise to show that, hey, stereotypes exist, but you should, not look at individuals as a stereotype. Look at individuals as individuals. Yeah, you can make that argument, and that's a teaching technique. I get it. But Ms. Gonzalez, you have a track record.
Ooh.
And it's not a good one.
That's right.
She likes to put her social media out there, and she wants you to resist always and talk about, she likes to talk about privilege. And of course, she's an English teacher and apparently likes to plagiarize because she copied this from a friend. Those posts where everyone's copying, they don't write anything original, they just copy it from a friend. And it's talking about the whole, going to vote and how I see, the whoever wins, be kind, keep living and all that. But she's saying, no, there's this privileged space and we need to, fight. And move on. I tell you, you and your people who live in your privileged space all the time. So she is an activist.
So what is she resisting? And what are those 3 red things in the picture?
The Handmaid's Tale.
Gosh, you're kidding me. I didn't get that.
She's an English teacher, so she shouldn't have read the book, but she probably just watched the TV show.
But she, at least she admits in this post, I fully recognize that I am quite privileged as well, which is exactly why I'm writing this, or has she
copied
which
from
is
a
which
friend.
is
She
why I'm
plagiarized
plagiarizing
it.
this.
It's not even original thought. But as we can see, this more than likely is not just a teaching exercise that she was going through, because her track record is showing otherwise. She doesn't care as much about the education as one would like them to hope,
All right, still to come, friends. A California high school football coach gets serious time in prison after placing hidden cameras inside the girls' locker room at school. That's next.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
Well, what? Oh, sorry. Not sorry. Go get your own mug there. Anyway, we're going to get out of the classroom and go on to the football field, but it's really not on the football field. It was just a creepy high school football coach who liked to look in the locker rooms. This is what we're talking about now. We have a positive in that we have at least one more creep off the streets. He's out of the classroom. He's former assistant varsity football coach at a high school in California. He got sentenced to almost 10 years in prison after he pled guilty back in October to placing a hidden camera in the girls' locker room and secretly storing hundreds of pornographic images of underage girls taken while they were in various stages of undress. Now, as you see, it's David Arthur Ridden, however you pronounce it. Well, back in August of 2021, another employee at the Los Osos High School in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Los Osos, okay, yes. Thank you. California, which is just about 45 minutes east of LA. This employee discovered a hidden camera that was disguised, actually, as a cell phone charger in the girls' locker room. So this creep went through extra effort to make sure he could look at the teenagers, which is ugh. Anyway, investigators used surveillance footage to trace the camera back to David Arthur Ridden, who coached football at the school since 2015. Now, he shortly thereafter resigned his coaching position. And then in October, he's 53 years old, by the way, he pled guilty to 3 felony charges related to possessing over 600 images of child sexual assault material and using a minor to produce child sexual assault material, the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office said. He also pled guilty to misdemeanor charge of secretly photographing a minor. In total, the investigators claim that Ryden possessed photographic pornographic material of at least 22 underage victims. Now, David, this is because I was talking to my friend actually about this story, and because I was reading it and I was like, hey, I got to tell you about this. And she brought up an interesting point. Did all of these 22 underage victims know that he has material on them? And would you be better off notified of being of being victimized like that, or would you be better off not even knowing that he had images of you? This was an interesting twist. I'm like,
that is.
I don't know that I would want to know that he has these images of me. Like, I would rather go on in life not knowing that he's got, not having images. Anyway, this was like a side story, but when we were reading this and I was talking about it, it was something that's very interesting. And we do at least have one victim who did know that she was being victimized, and she spoke out about it.
You truly destroyed my life. Once I was a girl who could take on anything, now I'm a girl who is scared and doesn't know what to do.
Publicly revealing her name for the first time, Jordan Stotts is speaking out, knowing that images of her were found on a hidden camera placed inside a girl's locker room and bathroom by former Los Osos High School assistant football coach David Ryden.
Ryden, the game you played was sick. I talked to you almost every single day, thinking how nice and sweet of a person you were, and thinking of you as a coach who loves his job. But this whole time, you've been going behind all of our backs, which is sick.
It happened in August of 2021. A statement made by the superintendent of the Chaffee Joint Union High School District shortly afterwards said they notified law enforcement immediately after finding the camera and were cooperating fully with their investigation.
Oh, this is disturbing, and it just makes you wonder how long the camera was there. Do we know?
Well, he resigned back in, he had been coaching since 2015, but then he resigned in 2021. I don't know. We don't know when did he start doing this kind of a thing.
Well, over 600 images
Yeah.
were on there of minors. It makes you wonder, across the country and other places, God forbid, but this is just something that is, and here's another, it even brings up, this is not the story, but it brings up the transgender issue again, of males wanting to be in the girls' locker room, a boy, could they fake it? Could they fake being transgender to do this? This is just a different way to do evil. The Bible talks about this. You find different ways to commit sin, crimes, or whatever. And he thought he'd get away with it. And it's kind of amazing that you put, I can't imagine a cell phone charger right out in the open and a hidden camera in it or on it, and no one would find that out. But apparently 600 images and 22 underage victims later. But I keep on thinking about, the victim Jane Doe, the one that we just saw the video of, that came forward. You wonder if other girls would really want to know, and I don't know. Can't answer that.
That's true. Well, coming up, New York orders all schools to stop using any Native American imagery or mascots, or they will face losing millions of dollars in funding. Stay with us.
Do you love America? Are you a patriot who desires to preserve the freedoms we enjoy for generations to come? Then let's take action. Every few days, we give our money to the big box stores. How we spend our dollars could be the most important vote. Do these stores promote freedom and American values? Is that where we should be buying our everyday household products for the rest of our lives? What if we just stopped? What if we shopped with a family-owned manufacturer who believes in preserving our freedoms? That's why SwitchToAmerica.com was created. SwitchToAmerica.com gives patriots the ability to walk away from the big box stores forever. This is a movement that pledges allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. SwitchToAmerica.com. Take action if you love this country. Here is a great way to show it. SwitchToAmerica.com.
Oh, sorry.
You're
Keep
really
doing
thirsty today, aren't you?
I'm so thirsty. I'm so glad I have my mug to help me stay hydrated.
What does it say on there?
Educated.
Ooh.
Anywho, there is many a reason that schools, public school systems, should be losing their funding. You know, not teaching the kids, that's just one that came to my mind.
Low test scores.
Low test score, any of that. But hey, no. Mascots are racist, and that's why they should lose their funding. At least that's what's happening in New York, where the state government has ordered that all schools must stop using teams' names and mascots that are based on Native American imagery, or they will risk losing funding from the state. And the order came in the wake of a court ruling against the Cambridge Central School District in a lawsuit to keep its Indians team mascot logo and team name. So the New York State Education Department sent a letter to the schools that threatened to punish them that if they keep using any mascots, team names, any logos, any of that stuff with Native American imagery. Let's take a look.
This all ties back to a case we've been following closely here on News 10. The state Supreme Court denied the Cambridge School District's appeal to bring back their Indians team name and logo. The Education Department specifically cited that lawsuit as their basis for this ruling. Dylan Hanoist, a Cambridge School Board member with Native American heritage, is disappointed with the ruling and believes it does more harm than good.
When you're talking about erasing all the imagery and taking away potential learning opportunities and educational opportunities for our kids, when you remove all of that, you're removing the history. And so the big thing that I would say is that it's education, and we need to educate, not eradicate.
Here's where things get a little more complicated. Here are 3 teams that use the name Warriors. We have Stillwater, Averill Park, and the Silver Warriors, Niskayuna. Stillwater's logo features Native American imagery, so that would seemingly need to be changed. Now, Averill Park's logo is just an A and a P, but their football helmets, as you can see here, for instance, they feature spears. Then you have Niskayuna. Their logo is just the N, and they don't seem to have any Native American imagery attached to any of their teams. These are the kind of distinctions we and the school themselves will have to sift through.
Oh, they will have to sift through.
How
we talk
tedious.
about this topic several times because it always just kind of comes to light again when we're like, well, it's been a day or two, so what can we hate on today? And it tends to be then, oh, well, we haven't picked on mascots in a while, that you must cancel anything that has anything to do with Native Americans and history going back. I do like what Dylan had to say. Obviously, let's educate, not eradicate. But no, that's not good enough for most of these wokies. And it's New York, so it's bound to happen.
Yeah, and I don't know what to think about this because I mean I'm not Native American. I'm not easily offended. I'm Italian, and I'm trying to think. Okay, if there was an Italian mascot, I don't know what that would be. Probably a plate of pasta on the side of the football helmet.
Well, just any of the stereotypes. Yeah,
I don't know that I would be offended. But you're trying to put yourself in other people's shoes, and then what should you do about it? Does this have to be statewide now?
Yeah.
If it's the spear or whatever's on the side of the helmet.
But the fact that this is what they're New York. This is what you're putting your efforts into. Is hey, you're going to lose state funding because of your mascot. Not because you're failing our students, because you're not actually educating our students. We'll still keep pumping the money for that.
Yeah, New York schools, they're horrific. Don't talk about that.
But, I mean, you better get that any symbolism, anything, logo off of your helmets, because we can't have that happen. Now, of course, we did have someone on the flip side named John Kane, who's a Cambridge alumni and an individual of Mohawk descent, who said the problem is that we're a living, breathing, and existing people. Yep. So our imagery being dehumanized in this fashion, no matter what anybody wants to talk about as far as honor and respect, it isn't. It doesn't. I mean, yes, there's an extent, but my question is when he says that our imagery is being dehumanized by that, what is it that these schools are doing that he finds personally offensive? I don't know. I'm not, because I'm not as part of them, but there's an interesting dynamic here. There are about 60 schools in New York that currently use the forbidden names, and they have to decide to end their use and comply or risk losing funding from the state. Now, there is a loophole.
Yes, yes, that's interesting.
A school may avoid the order if it has received the express approval from a recognized Native American tribe for their mascot, team name, and logo. So, that's a compromise here.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Either way, still to come. A poll conducted at the University of Alabama shows even college students have a hard time defining, what is a woman? Just wait until you see the results. Stay with us.
We want to hear from you. If you have a question or comment for Katie, David, or any of our other show hosts, simply visit stayeducated.org. That's stayeducated.org and submit your question or comment. Our team loves to hear from you and might just give you a shout out on air. Again, visit stayeducated.org and connect with us.
So there's a poll the University of Alabama Young Americans for Freedom conducted on campus that found only about 28% of respondents define woman by biology.
What?
Katie, this is just another... Did you do your Scooby? Yeah, this is just another example of why we are in trouble as a nation. 28%. Many students were unwilling to answer the question, similar to our latest Supreme Court Justice radical, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Jackson Brown? No, that was an 80s singer.
Jackson
Anyway,
Brown, man,
70s.
that's some
running
good
on empty. I'm running on empty
It's
here,
a
Katie.
good song.
I need to refill my educated mug. I'm running on empty.
It's
Okay,
all right, I understand.
so the president of the YAF chapter told Campus Reform that when 2 out of 3 students give an answer that contradicts what 100% of human beings understand to be true, it demonstrates the strength of the left's stranglehold on culture. I just want to pause right there and think about that for a minute, because that's good marketing, Katie. That's good, awfully good, effective propaganda. And I don't think enough people realize how important this is. I mean, we laugh at this. What is a woman? Come on. But seriously, young people are just going to, I can't talk about this.
No, it's true. And apparently the boys and the girls have no idea what a woman is. When you take a combined stat, I guess, there were 27.9% yay biological. They gave the answer, but then you look at all the other ones and you add those up, and then you're looking at most people just either don't know. 10% said they don't know. 13% think, hey, it's whatever you want. Yeah, you do you. A social construct, of course, 3% say, oh, it's a social construct. They gave unique responses. About 36 people, or 18% of them, gave rather unique responses. You couldn't even define it. And then 26% of them, you just dodged it altogether.
Dodged it.
Now, when you break it down by the actual 2 genders,
okay,
so we only have to have 2 different screens.
How are men answering this?
Well, men are saying they gave a biological response, 36% of them. 10% of them even say whatever they want, which 4% didn't know.
More
4%.
men dodged the question than women, though.
Well,
28.6%?
Well, that was the combined before. So let's take a look, actually. What did the women say? Yeah, so the men still did dodge it by just a little bit, but women, 24%. Of course, women say, hey, whatever they want. 17% say whatever they want.
What's amazing, 16% of women said, I don't know.
Don't know. I mean,
What
you could
are
say
you?
all men could be like, I don't know. But the fact
What
that...
are you?
Well,
I don't know.
And the men was like 36% said the biological response, and the women, only 19% could give a biological response, which means
This is confusing.
women have been told... You can't even define what a woman is.
You don't matter.
Because you know what? You do you, girl, or not girl, or whatever your pronouns are.
So
Here
what
we
does
are.
it matter if a boy competes on the girls' track team or
cares, according to
whatever
them.
sport? It doesn't matter, because we're not defining roles as they should be defined biologically anymore. This is really astounding to me, but here is the fact that so many of the students that they asked, and this is a quote from the article, were hesitant to answer that way. Suggests 2 things. First, that a few students were ideologically motivated to deny biological reality and adopt a logically nonsensical view to exert control over the culture. And second, that many more students are willing to go along out of a desire not to be offensive or fear of suffering the repercussions if they gave the non-woke or non-popular or non-appropriate, culturally appropriate response. So we're just getting off into la la land. This is at the University of Alabama. But anyway, what difference does it matter if you're talking about universities anywhere across the country now, right? Whatever state.
Yeah, it used to be, well, the Deep South would never do that, say something, but
Right,
Alabama,
right.
they can't. Makes if you go back to New York, where we just were.
Yeah.
Let's see what they would say. But anyway, hey, make sure you're hitting that like button if you're watching us on the social media, and please send us your feedback at stayeducated.org. Where, hey, if you visit that, you can get one of these nifty little mugs as well. Now, for David and myself and my mug, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting this show. Until next time, stay educated.